hanging around the lights.
4191 planning and zoning, you didn't have a chance to vote on. Those were revisits, and 4155. You want to vote on the revisits, or?
4190, no, I thought I did that one.
We did a revisit last time that we met,
Oh,
and you came in after we were doing the revisits.
Master plan,
yeah, that's fine.
an
You're
additional
okay?
$1,500.
Personal, and it was a calculating error on personnel administration. I had to do a little change there. Are you okay?
Yep.
All right. So your votes won't be reflected in the final. Okay. And then
Typical.
Doesn't matter.
my questions to Guy. Okay, we did just vote on solid waste. You were voting no on most things that had salaries or wages.
Yes, I haven't changed my opinion on,
But you just voted on Clay's budget again.
then I did. Yeah.
So you did on that
I
one.
did change my mind on that one. Go through them, you better.
Pardon me?
You better go through them, yeah.
Okay, let me just see.
Read the articles.
Oh. You abstained the first time around on cemeteries,
Yes.
but this time you did vote. I think it was mainly that one. Because we revisited for the snow box,
Yeah.
you voted on it,
Yes.
even though it had salaries.
Yes, I did vote for the snow box, yeah.
Okay, but it included salaries. I
yeah,
just wanted you
yeah.
to be aware
No,
that some of the
I'm-
things you voted no on because of salaries and some of the things, but you're set.
Had to go for the snow box, regardless of what it did, the rest of it.
Okay,
Too important, it's gonna save us too much money, too much time.
okay. And then, yeah, I think that's probably it on those. Okay, moving right along.
Helen, did we get one of the, where's the one that has the prior year numbers and stuff?
We're gonna talk about it.
Where's the most
Okay,
important one?
do I have any other budget or warrant articles that anybody wants to revisit? Are you happy with how you voted
The warrant articles?
on the warrant articles?
Did we have to do, what's 7? I thought we were doing the one about the health insurance. Can
We removed that one.
removed it?
Yep.
Okay, and then what about 17 here that has no?
Which one?
17, we have the amount that the selectmen have recommended. But until tonight's over with, we don't have the number of the budget committee.
Okay, gotcha, so that's the final, gotcha.
Yeah.
Excuse me, back up for a second. You pulled the warrant article for the health insurance trust?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that one, you did strike that one, and you also did strike the one for paving around Jim's
Right.
area.
The 39,000.
So 2 articles are no longer on. Okay,
I had a question on the, and it was just on article, let's see, it's the library in terms of the funds to do the studies. I'm sorry, the police station, excuse me. And I'm trying to find it here.
8? Oh,
Article 4.
Four.
8.
8.
Article 8.
30,000.
Yeah, I was just, in terms of the wording, it indicates, I'm trying to locate that right now.
Want it for you?
Could be, yeah, on Article 8, it indicates that the study, the $30,000 for a study and design of the new or updated police facility. I think we ought to make sure that those are very preliminary. That kind of money is only for preliminary studies, that it would never include, your complete construction
Design.
and full design. This is strictly to cover, the preliminary studies for maybe site engineering in terms of your water or ledges or whatever it might be, but there's no way you could get full construction costs for $30,000. So,
And I would hope that the Board of Selectmen would be pointing that out.
yeah,
as
so
you-
I think it just should be clarified that this is very, very preliminary in nature.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
Somebody may raise the issue, how are you gonna, get full construction plans for $30,000? It's not gonna happen.
And I also wanted,
Schiavi Homes.
if anyone is interested, I know I have a letter from Whitehorse somewhere here indicating what they would do with the money. We've already voted on it. I don't think we need to revisit it. It came down 6-1, but I just wanted the committee to know they were looking at a cash register and a couple of other things that they would purchase with that 2,500 if it, here it is. They also are looking at a computer. I'll just pass this around. We've already voted on it, but unless anybody wants to revisit. I think, John, you were the one that said that you were against that, correct? So you'll have to let us know if you wanted to revisit that. Okay, I don't have anything else. Does anyone else have anything on warrant articles that you want to address? Okay. Let's look at our final budget review then. Well, let's look at estimated revenue. Let's
Yeah, I was
do
gonna
that
say, can we
first.
look at the graphs too before we go to the?
We're gonna do that too.
Before we-
Yeah, we'll do that. You're on, Chip.
I can't find revenue, where are they?
You can't find it?
You're right on it, actually, if you flip the page down.
I'm getting there. 3144875, is that what you got? So the questions are,
Well, you took out the 50,000
Right.
for health insurance.
right, that was the big reduction. We added 4,000 for sale of municipal property, excuse me.
Jack's truck.
And that added, that's on line 3501. On line 3379, we added an additional $600 to the milfoil revenue. Yeah, I think those are
And
the
yeah, I
only
didn't see
changes.
any other changes.
What's the highway block grant?
That's money that we get from the state on an annual basis for, isn't that our share of the gas tax? I think that's how it is.
Yeah, and
Did you get
it's how many road,
70,000?
how many miles of road we have in town, and
Okay,
it's in around 70,000,
80.
80.
Right.
It went up a couple grandish.
Do we have any questions for Chip in regards to this estimated revenue?
So what is the $610,000 motor vehicle?
Those are registrations.
Okay.
We haven't added anything, I guess we have an opportunity to add something to that for our highways, but we didn't really flesh that conversation out.
You have $100,000 from departments, including the library, and Clay just said he had $104,000 in revenue
Right.
from the transfer station alone, so should that be about $120,000 maybe? Or are you just being conservative?
I think we were living with the numbers that we had at the time. And
It makes sense to be a little
Yeah,
conservative, I
maybe a
think
little-
we did.
I mean, we've got payment in lieu of tax at 7, and that jumps all over the place year to year, depending on the mood of the camps. And penalties and interest, betterments, that sort of thing. I mean, these are generally what we get,
Mhm.
but I don't know that the selectmen are interested in increasing it by 20 grand.
We're talking about the revision on 1/29/18, the date,
Where are you?
we have,
129, yeah,
okay, so we're at 899,245,
yes. With the,
That's the remaining
mean,
fund
remaining
balance.
balance.
That's the remaining fund balance. Actually, that needs to get updated, and it will when we do our, and when we get audited, that'll be higher than that, because that doesn't include the 2017.
Yeah.
okay. Any other questions for Chip on this one? No? Okay.
Do we-
Let's, oh, I'm
do we have
sorry.
to do a motion to reopen this and re-vote it, or no?
This is what it is, I don't think we vote on this.
Oh, okay. We didn't have to vote it the first time?
We didn't,
No,
Okay.
Just for information.
yeah,
okay.
So we can do that if we want.
Vote anything you want, vote on everything.
Let's review the January 16 minutes, please. Does anyone have any changes? Corrections?
yeah, the only suggestion on this would be, on that, again, on that Article 8, after $30,000, or we should indicate that those are only preliminary, for preliminary design, a study and design. Maybe
Okay.
that might clarify it a little bit.
And I don't think that we can do that from our minutes, but I, again, would like to say
That'd be
to the
reflected
Board of
in tonight's
Selectmen
minutes.
if
Hmm?
they would make sure that's clear to the voters, what they'll get for $30,000.
That would be reflected in tonight's minutes.
Pardon me?
That would be reflected in tonight's minutes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay,
Yeah,
Bob?
absolutely.
Okay.
It's just a question that I had.
Is he would like it to go back to DRA and the selectmen with the wording changed, or just to be mentioned at?
No, just mention it in the minutes, I think,
Okay.
to make sure that we all understand that those are very preliminary studies.
Okay.
that they're
We're gonna put you by a microphone.
No, you're not.
Okay. Anything else?
I move that we approve the January 16 minutes as written.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Well done, Karen. Thank you. And correspondence, I passed around already the White Horse document, in case anyone wanted to look at it. And then I know we all received from a resident an email. I don't have anything to add in regards to that. Unless someone else wants to bring it up. No? Okay. Under new business. Pardon me, John?
What was that? I missed it. What was the other email?
Oh, it was an email from a resident to the Board of Selectmen, you probably, and the
Oh.
Budget Committee, you already received it. I don't have any comments, I don't know if anyone else does. It's just, okay.
I assume we'll talk about it later.
Pardon me?
I said, I assume we'll talk about it later. Public input?
Well, if the individual would like to.
Well, wait a minute, that's not part of the agenda, is it?
Yes, public
Oh,
input.
Public input is.
All right.
Then it would be under the correspondence section.
No,
No.
We're on to the
Public
graphs.
input.
Public input.
But doesn't public input have to conform to what we discussed at this particular meeting?
No, I've already discussed that we received the email.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, new business, graphs, Helen.
Okay,
I tell the public what their input can be.
sent around the graph that you
Read that.
have. This one, I'm sorry that the copies are black and white, but that was a mistake. But anyway, you all have a copy. The $3,742,055 is the actual amount that we have approved with all of our votes tonight. So that's,
oh, even the decreases?
This is here?
yeah, this is what the budget is right at this very moment, with all of, everything we voted on, the decreases and the increases.
Okay, that's just the operating budget. Okay.
So, this is, if we approve the budget tonight,
Why are we $250 apart?
because in donations, you approved $250 more than
Okay, thanks.
than we did.
All right.
So,
It's a long day.
Pomfret buffet, don't worry.
so it's, unless there is some input on this, I will, give this to Karen tomorrow so that she can send it off.
What's that figure again?
3,742,055. 3742055.
How about if you give it to her after we vote?
Well, yes. No,
Yeah.
as I said, if we approve the
Okay.
budget, then this is what.
We should include that number in this. I mean,
Well-
you've approved $3,742,055. So
But
when
we
we get to
haven't
Article
approved.
17,
We have
that's
That will
the
go in.
number that we'll use.
That's the number we'll use, but we haven't voted on it yet.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Now, you'll also notice that I did not give you the 5-year operating budget. We've had some discussion about this, and I feel that this is what we're asking the town to approve. So I think this is what we should be giving them. I don't think we should be giving them the history.
And
I
the
don't-
history is in the annual report.
It's all in the annual report.
So
I
this,
did some-
this becomes a handout at the budget hearing?
No, it's in our annual report.
Well, this, I believe, my suggestion is that this goes in the annual report, but not this.
Last year, we had both.
Because this, it's true, this is the budget we're asking them to vote on, but I think this gives them more information, and I don't think
So
that,
we won't be talking about the percentage of increase.
well, I did some, now these numbers will all be in the annual report.
Mhm.
The increase over the 2017 budget is going to be $89,300 or 2.4%.
2.4%.
4%. The increase over the actual budget is going to be $158,407 or a 4.4% increase.
And we're not going to, if that's in the annual report, so we're not going to show any of that on any graphs.
Right,
Will
because
that help you, Chip?
no,
I don't know that, I guess more information is better information as far as I'm concerned, but this is gonna go into the town report
Mm-hmm.
We did last year,
and not the historical,
correct.
okay. I'm not ready to make a decision for the selectmen on that, but if you can give us both items of information, I'll bring it up at.
Yeah, why are you
the next meeting.
concerned about giving that?
Well, there's some discussion about what the column should be.
Right.
And I feel that it should be the actual expenditures for all the prior years
I agree.
and the budget for next year. The concern was, some people wanted to add a column for last year's budget as well. But I figure that shouldn't be a benchmark. The benchmark should be what we actually spend.
Exactly.
Unless you use, rather than an extra column, just a narrative, just put,
I think having the actual numbers on there for the years was helpful.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
Okay.
think that they're actually what we spent. The problem, and I think Helen's been very politic to not bring my name into this. The problem I have is when you compare what we're asking for a budget against what actually was spent, that's apples and oranges. So we have 4 years worth of actual expenses. We don't know what we're actually gonna spend next year. But historically, there's no reference here to what we budgeted. So if we historically budget 6% more than we spend, there's nothing here to explain that. So a 4% or whatever percent increase this shows against the actual expenditures isn't really showing the whole situation. So
Well, I think that.
we're
if you
never
take-
gonna agree on this,
I
just so you know.
and
If
these are
you
Helen's
take-
graphs.
If you take into account that you cannot spend more money than was in the budget for last year, I mean, that's a given, that's one thing in
Right.
business that, you know, they can spend more than is in the budget. You can't, we can't.
Well, they can't either, except
So-
for in extraordinary circumstances. But that being said, one of the things that I find difficult to explain to the average citizen who's not served in government is how these undesignated fund balances occur. And this isn't helping that explanation, so that's another element to it that
Okay.
I'd like to flesh
So
out.
you're saying if we had the actual money number that was budgeted, the difference would be very simply explained as that difference goes into the undesignated fund balance?
Right,
Okay, that's, even I can get that.
yeah. I mean, that's how you accumulate
Of
money.
course. Yeah.
That and mana from Concord.
Right.
But I feel that can be, that's an explanation. You don't need the hard numbers. The other tricky piece with this is that I work real closely with Diane on this because she keeps getting invoices, so her
Mhm.
actual numbers keep getting updated. So we come to it's hard to synchronize the final numbers for the actual spending.
Is there any way, would it satisfy everyone if, rather than a whole column, because couldn't we just say increase of 2.4% over, you know?
You can say, I mean,
In a
I'm
narrative
just
form.
a selectman representative on the budget committee, so you can say whatever you feel like saying.
Yeah.
But the part of the narrative going forward is that in 2017, we used $350,000 from the undesignated fund balance to actually lower the taxes by a couple of pennies. We're looking at a $470,000 increase this year, given the scope of the warrant articles we're investing in. It doesn't mean that that's gonna drive the tax rate through the ceiling, because we have a significant unfunded or undesignated fund balance. So we can moderate that over time, but it would certainly be helpful to illustrate that we're not just spending our savings account, we're actually accumulating annually. So if we decide to put $300,000 against taxes next October, we will have gained 100 from 2017, let's use them round figures. So our actual reduction is only 200, and 20%, holding 20% in abeyance is 600,000, we're still $400,000 ahead of the game. So I mean, it's easier to describe the system going forward with that information, but you can, honestly, Ellen, we're never going to agree. So you can do whatever you like.
What would you like, what would the
Okay,
committee
well,
like
let
to
me
see?
just say a little bit about the history of this too, how it developed.
Yes.
There was some controversy several years ago because the amounts of by department that were put into the budget the library had been omitted. So when I joined the committee, the accountant in me said, well, you know, you need to like allocate things so that the total in the budget is the total on here. So that was why I put this together. And to me, that was what was important. There was another member on the budget committee that said, it would really help me if you did a history. So because of that, I did the history, but it was not,
It wasn't
history was
part of
not
the
really
initial
my idea.
plan.
Yeah.
so anyway,
And I think
that's a little of the history.
you know, it's all of this is very helpful. That illustration like this is going to be clearer than all the other stuff that we have.
So I will, you know, whatever you all want, work on it, but just, you know.
Well, and I know time is of the essence. Could we have some feedback from the rest of the committee?
Budgets are just that. You're trying to project out an 18-month window. As a taxpayer, I'm much more concerned with what was spent, not what was budgeted. Because you can be a hero, you know, just say, oh, look how much we underspend our budget by inflating that budget. Okay? Show the people where it got spent, what was spent, and that's what people really want to know, in my opinion.
Okay. Bob, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, a budget is nothing more than an estimate of what you're going to do. And it's a target that moves all the time. And I think I agree with Gordon in the sense that, you know, it's more important that what you've actually spent. And I think what the only negative is that, well, you're collecting too much, you're being too conservative, therefore, but you have to be in the budgetary process because of the fact that it's a moving target and you don't know what's coming up. It's your best guess as to what you're going to be spending, and I
But how does, for both Gordon and Bob, how and should that be reflected on this chart? Is
Or
this,
should we leave out that part?
should we leave out this chart and just do the pie chart? Or is this an important part of what we're trying to?
If people, my point is that if you're concerned with past history, okay, do you want to show 5 years worth of numbers? I would show 5 years worth of real numbers, not 5 years of what was projected as numbers.
Mhm.
Okay?
Okay, Guy, what do you
Jerry
think?
Maguire, show me the money. That's what I want to see. Show
What
me
are
what
your
was
thoughts,
spent.
Guy?
Well, I can tell you how much money was budgeted in 1902 because I have all those town reports. If I want a 5-year history, I do have to take 5 years worth of town reports out of the cabinet, sit there and go through. That would indicate a real interest by me.
Mhm.
However, I don't think the general public is going to do that. And I'd like to see this chart and the actual money budgeted as well. I think I agree with Chip.
Okay, and Chip, you would like to see both?
It doesn't matter to me that much. I have to deal with, I mean, on the one hand, I appreciate what Gordon was saying, that it's what you spend. but you're always constrained by the taxes you raise. So the only heroics would be to raise the taxes and not spend the money, but there's no way to not do both, if you're doing that.
Well, that's how you build up your fund balance.
Right, but we haven't raised the taxes, we're trying to control the tax rates, and I think if I need to be able to sit at the town meeting and know that what I'm saying to the people when asked is exactly what's gonna happen, and
And this helps you do that?
part of it does, yeah, and I'm fine, I can work with
Okay.
whatever you.
John, what do you think about?
I feel like I liked that other report because it gave me information. I don't care how we spread out the budget. Like, I don't think that this, and I don't know how much time you spent on this. I mean, it's good information, but I don't care how we're allocating the budget. I care about what our actual expenditures compared to what we're budgeting. To me, that gives me more information, like that was what I was looking for. And then, because this just spreads it out, just says what department has what percentage of the budget.
I
Well,
just,
but okay.
oh.
It's
and-
both important, I just don't know if this one gives me the information that.
Okay. I truly value both of these charts, and I want to commend Helen for putting them together. She worked one whole summer without any help from anybody and working with staff here to get this done, and she's done it every year since she's been on, and I think it's valuable information. My only thought would be is if you're going to do the 5-year history, to just somewhere on there, a commentary of the difference between actual and budget. It doesn't have to be a whole other column, but I'm not tied to that idea, so it doesn't have to be. Because we can say, well,
And
it's,
if we want to make a compromise, and I would hope that we could, if you eliminated the budget line on this page, the 18 budget, then it's clear. This is the historical record. No, and then you have this.
Then you make it, you have to compare the two pages. I just
Right.
want the percentage right there on that page. Right? That's all I care about. I just like to see the percentage at the
Yeah,
bottom.
exactly, and
That's all
that's
I
why
care
this,
about.
that's why this page is worthless.
That's what's
Because it doesn't-
important.
No, because it doesn't actually reflect anything.
It does
I'm
what
not
we
gonna-
actually spent last year
This
compared to what we're budgeting this year.
this is
That
what we're.
critical information.
No, it isn't. It isn't, because it doesn't give you the percentage of what you budgeted in 16 versus
Yes,
what you
great word.
spent. So you have no idea what that number represents.
No, but I can tell what the actual was from 16 to the actual in 17. To me, that's just as
Right,
important.
so that is important, that's very important information. But the
Then
problem
we'll
I have
take
with this
that
is
and
that
compare it.
knowing that we're
next year.
trying to budget X for 2018, it doesn't inform you at all.
Well, you'll get your chance to speak at town meeting.
I sure will. I'll speak about that.
All right, it looks like the consensus of this committee is to have both charts.
Sure.
But
That's the
should we
majority.
vote on both charts? And
If we were to vote, are we voting to advise the selectmen